Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Bill Bila. I'm an American citizen, also dual nationality Slovak citizen, living in Paris. Having grown up in America, everybody grew up Italian American, Irish American, so it's perfectly natural to have several identities. My mother is Roma, my father is not, but I still think I'm 100% American, 100% Slovak, 100% Roma. It's central to who I am. I grew up in America, so I grew up like a regular white boy in the suburbs.
Right.
Nobody really knew I was Roma, and actually my mother didn't tell me until, I don't know, maybe I was about 10 or 12 years old, when I came home one day and I said, oh, I wish I were Egyptian so I could tell the future. And she took me aside and she showed me an encyclopedia and looked up the word Romani, and she said, that's me, that's where we come from. And I said, what, are you serious? You know, and I really didn't believe her at first, but then, and she told me, you should never tell anyone. For me, that was the strangest thing because of this pride that everyone has in where they come from. I was a Slovak American. My parents came from Slovakia, so I wanted every part of my identity, but just to be transparent about it.
Right.
No, I had to be quiet about it. And so, really, I didn't have any negative experiences in America with this, partly because I didn't tell hardly anyone. I can't say I didn't tell anybody, but in America, nobody knows what it means to be Roma, to be a gypsy. It's a mythological creature, it's a fictional character. Very few people know about this.
Okay, so my name is Samuel Mago. I come from Hungary, originally from Budapest. I was born there. And I live in Vienna since my since I'm 4.
Okay.
Well, I just graduated from high school, and I'm at a Roma organization. I'm working there in summer and later on as well. And I want to study linguistics in Vienna in the future. I was raised to be proud to be Roma, to be Gypsy. It's kind of like, well, you know, you always hear the cliches of the positive cliches of music and freedom and so on, and the negatives. And I think for me to be Gypsy, it's like to be in a community and to be with my family and with my people, if you say so. But as I'm pretty pale and pretty white, people don't recognize me as a Roma in the first place, and so I always have to tell them that I'm Roma. And well, it's interesting because as I'm pale, I kind of like I could hide my ethnic origin, but I think it's important that the Roma say that they are proud of themselves, and the empowerment is really important, and that's why I don't hide it, and that's why I want that people know that there are a lot of Roma who don't fit in these cliches.
Hello, I'm Antonia, and I live in Bulgaria, Sofia, but I'm born in Pernik. Now I'm 21 years old and I study medicine in Medical University of Sofia, and it's my 3rd year at the university. I was always discriminated in my country. I live in Bulgaria, but I never felt like Bulgarian citizen there. I think that the people are bad because they don't like different people. and that isn't so good. I think so. When I was in the school, I haven't friends there. They hate me because I'm black. I'm a little more black than them.
As people don't see me as Roma in the first place, I've never been excluded from any group or something.
Okay.
But the first time I introduced myself in high school as a Roma was when some people in my class said Zigeuner, but not to me, just to other ones as a Schimpfwort. And that's when I told them, please don't do that because I'm a Roma and that's really offensive. And
when I was living in Prague, also I was kind of in the closet as a Roma. People didn't know who I was at work or where I came from. But one day in the summer I was a little bit more tanned, my hair was a little bit more messed up, a little bit longer, and I was basically accosted on a tram, threatened to basically I shouldn't sit down, I shouldn't lean against the wall, I'm a dirty gypsy, and I had to leave for my safety. I feel that the situation since the fall of the Berlin Wall and communism has gotten worse for the Roma. And it was already bad in Eastern Europe, and it's gotten worse. And I had so much hope at the beginning of the 90s or in the 90s that the Roma and Sinti of Western Europe could kind of help or support the Roma and Sinti of Eastern Europe in fighting for their rights and engaging in civil society and be an example. And often the case I saw that they wanted to distance themselves from the new Roma immigrants. And what's happening now, unfortunately, with the immigrants coming into France, I see that the French government, people in the French government, instead of being exemplary as examples of a good civil society, they're following the Eastern European model. So scapegoating, making excuses, basically politicians in Eastern Europe should be standing up for the rights of everyone, not just the majority, not just white people, not just certain people. And the Roma don't have representation or sufficient representation, and so politicians don't care if there's 90% unemployment for Roma. They're not going to vote them into office, and there's no consequences. People can get away with what, basically, people in leadership positions, teachers, policemen, politicians, are now free to do whatever they want to because they're not held accountable.
In Hungary, the situation is currently really, really bad. There's a party which is called Jobbik. This means the better and the rights. So that's a word game, wordplay. And they made a club or something with soldiers, and they went into cities where there were a lot of Roma, and well, Roma a few years ago, Roma were shot and their houses were burned down to the ground, and children were shot. So it's currently the situation is kind of like incredibly horrifying to a lot of people. And in the last election of the European Union Parliament, the votes went to the right side, so politically right, and in a lot of countries, in Hungary, for example, or in Austria, or in Northern Europe as well. So in Sweden, in Norway, I think, in France with Le Pen and then Front National. And I think that really shows that the people are, or that they like what these right parties say.
The socialist interior minister has come under fire for his forced expulsions, camp demolitions, and his recent xenophobic attacks on the nation's poorest inhabitants.
So either we find solutions for integration, but they are limited, because many of the Roma don't work. The Roma have to go back to their home. We don't have the obligation to welcome these populations. It's not about stigmatizing a population, but facing the truth.
I want to tell people that you need to see inside the person because you may be intelligent and good person, and it doesn't matter about your color. Maybe this.
So I think if you want to know who the Roma are, you need to know that we're not the wandering gypsies of the 19th century literature that you might know here, or things that you've seen in cartoons, that those are stereotypes that have been reinforced. So I would say that. To people in America in particular, know that we do exist, we are real people, we're not just characters, we're not Esmeralda in Walt Disney. And to English speakers, whether in America, Australia, or the UK, the word gypped. A lot of people use this word because they don't know what it means or where it comes from. It's used simply to mean cheated. I got gypped out of 25 cents when I bought my ice cream, or I got gypped out of getting proper service with my health insurance. I'm getting cheated. But that comes from the word gypsy. And so originally it was an ethnic slur. And if you're using that, you're actually reinforcing that kind of ethnic issue of the gypsy, the stealing gypsy, the wandering gypsy. It contributes to that, so people should try to avoid this expression. And it's good to educate people about this because people who use it don't know that it comes from that, or they may not realize that it's an ethnic slur. And so also when you criticize or you catch someone saying this, don't assume that they're racist, especially I've seen a lot of chats on Facebook and different places, particularly German-speaking people who are criticizing Michelle Obama for using the word, and I would say this is someone who is potentially on your side. Don't assume that she's using an ethnic slur. Educate her and let her know that it's not good to use this word, and I'm sure that she would be very happy to promote and speak for all minorities and basically treat everybody with equity and fairness and respect.